Ahoy and welcome to Riftbound Spiritforged. I have a match here from the Spiritforged Pre-Release Event that we went to this last weekend. Super excited to be here with you today. This is Captain Dad, and we have Walroos versus Captain Dad, best of one match today. Paper tree coming in for Captain Dad, and as this event you could blank your battlefields. Walroos, as his selected there is a blank battlefield, so that's what we got on his side. Starting the game off, Captain Dad, no turn one play. Walroos gonna take his turn one, play an eager Drakehound. I enter ready. Nice little accelerated. Takes the battlefield that's gonna be blank for today. Gonna score his first point. Walroos playing the Lucian ability, or excuse me, the Lucian legend. His ability says your equipment each give assault. So equipment, very aggressive, attacking. Captain Dad playing Irelia, the Blade Dancer. When you choose a friendly unit, you may exhaust me and pay a power to ready it. When you conquer, you may pay one rune and ready me. Looks like purple Irelia coming down for Captain Dad. Paying the power, and there we go, turn two. Walroos taking his turn, readying everything, going up to 2 points. And yeah, this event was super fun to hang out and get to play in. And there was a lot of people from the Discord server there and a lot of the crew playing Warmong's armor. Walrus is going to go ahead and start his turn off playing Lucian. Weapon Master procs off Lucian, so when he comes into play, he'll be able to attach that Warmongs for free. Over to Captain Dad now. This event was awesome getting to open up the new cards, but mostly it was really fun getting to see all the familiar faces and all my friends there. That's we've become quite the community, and it's really fun getting to see everybody. Captain Dag taking Irelia into the open battlefield. Conquering for a point. No response from Walrus as his runes are fully exhausted on his last turn. Captain Dad getting on the board, 1 to 2. Did you guys get to play in many events? A lot of these people that I played with here got to play in multiple events. This was the first one that I went to. I gave up my place in a different event as the store that I was going to only got half their product. So fortunately for them, I go there quite often and I like to support them any way I can. So let them fill up their tournament with as many players as they could, and we'll get the next one. All right, Walrus taking the turn here, paying his 3, getting the new orange Fiora out onto the battlefield. And yeah, updated the layout here a little bit so we can include equipment and get a little bit better reading on the cards. I think it is a little bit more fluid. I like it. I don't know, let me know what you think. Maybe drop a comment. Lucian coming into the open, that unnamed battlefield, attacking into Irelia. Captain Dad playing the reaction Janna. So yeah, reaction speed champion, 3 power, and then she says heal all abilities, all friendly units, and then choose one unit, enemy unit, send it back to the base. Nice tornado effect. Lucian goes back to the base without a conquer. Walrus deciding to take the rest of his runes to play a Loyal Pup. When you defend at a battlefield, you can move Loyal Pup to that battlefield. That's what his ability says. And passing it back to Captain Dad. Captain Dad with multiple cards in his hands. Looks like he's not quite sure what he wants to do today. There was a lot of reading going on, so there's going to be a couple misplays, but we had fun. I think it's all fair. In the end, I don't think there's anything too impactful to actually destroy the game state or affect who would have won. So we'll go through it. And again, watching the video helps review the play, helps you become a better player. Looks like we got 3 power that we're trying to, 3 runes we're trying to exhaust here, possibly. 4-5. Captain Dad taking his sweet time deciding what he wants to do here. Playing the jacks unmatched from the champion zone. Green jacks comes in with deflect. Each equipment in your hand has the quick draw ability. I actually really wanted to play the Jacks Legend and was very thrilled when I hit him in one of the boosters. So if you didn't get a chance to watch the opening of the packs, we got the video out for that already. We will go through a deck list here at the end of the series here. I got another video, possibly two, coming out from this event, and at the end of those we'll go through a deck list for what I built here. I think I still have it. Deciding to move Irelia and Janna off of the battlefield. Back to the bench. Captain Dad scored the 2 points at the beginning of his turn there. Moving everybody back to be safe. Passes it back to Walroos. Walroos coming down with another second Eager Drakehound. I enter ready. Same play as the first one, coming into the battlefield A, unnamed battlefield. Scoring a point, going up to 3. Walroos is a good friend of mine. It's great to be able to see him anytime I get to see him, and great to be able to play him. Fun to get one here on camera. He's also in our Discord server, does a lot of good work. In fact, probably does most of the heavy work in the Discord server, so big thanks to you, Walroos. Shout out, Brother Bear. Good to see you, man. Captain Dad taking this turn here. Looks like we're going to pay 3. Purple Ezreal Prodigy. When you play me, discard 1, then draw 2. And then he also makes the repeat costs of spells 2 less.
That is a really good pull.
Walroos taking a moment to admire the purple Ezreal. Although I don't feel like I hit the best of packs in the opening, I feel like I hit some... The packs that I did hit went really well with the deck that I built here, so I decided to stay 2 colors. Looking back at it, I probably could have built it a little bit better, thrown in a 3rd color unit or 2 that just didn't have any power. But that's part of playing, you gotta learn. Stellacorn Herder comes down for Captain Dad onto the base. When I move, draw 1. So we got plenty of base power and a little draw engine for Captain Dad. Couple of big units for Walroos if they get to attack him alone. Fiora, when she attacks alone solo one-on-one, she'll get to double her might. That is conditional, so if she attack 1 into 2, he doesn't count, or, you know, obviously with another unit, 2 into 2, 2 into 1. Captain Dad considering whether he wants to go into combat with no runes available. Instead, deciding to take it safe and pass it back to Walroos. Walroos going to be on that base already for Battlefield A. Excuse me, on the Battlefield A, so he will get score up to 4 points. And he's got to be feeling pretty good, pretty decent. Got a nice little control halfway there already. Looks like he's got a couple of punch firsts in his hand there as well. Still learning the cards, so not quite sure what they are all together here when I try to peek in players' hands, but we'll get better as we get going here, as the cards become more familiar. Kind of feeling like a fish out of water when it comes to naming the new cards. I am not as polished as I should be. But life's been busy and been doing a lot of work personally. Passing it back to Captain Dad. They're both laughing on not taking the paper tree. Paper tree, when you hold here, each player channels an exhausted rune, so both players do benefit from it, but it kind of benefits your opponent in the sense that they get to use that channeled rune first before you do. Players chit-chatting about the effect of it now, laughing at each other, playing chicken over it. Looks like we've got a pretty stacked board for Captain Dad. You've got Jax, Irelia, Janna, Ezreal, and a Herder on his base. Moving the Herder up into the paper tree. That'll score Captain Dad up to 3 points. And of course, when she moves, we'll get the draw trigger as well. Plenty of cards in Captain Dad's hands. A few different options. Looks like we got a not so fast in there. So we know Captain Dad is holding a counter spell. Treasure Hunter coming down. When it moves, create a gold token. And yeah, Captain Dad really taking the time to develop the board here. 6 power, no, deciding not to play, not to fully exhaust this turn. See if we'll go in for some combat instead. Yeah, Irelia moving up into Battlefield A, passing priority over to Walroos. Walroos going to take that attack trigger, move the Loyal Pup into the battlefield for a little defense. Captain Dad deciding to take the trade with the Pup, trading Irelia for Pup. And we'll see what he's got in mind here for the next play. Looks like he had something he wanted to do here with all this energy, all these runes, but strategizing on when to play the units coming into effect here. Yes, Guardian of the Passage. When I hold, you may return a unit or a gear from your trash to your hand. Captain Dad returning it now. He didn't read the card there very well. Playing it as a cast trigger instead. Accidentally. Misplay. So technically he should not have a purple Irelia in his hand right now. But fully exhausted on runes, not able to provide any interaction. Deciding whether he wants to come in for a second attack or not.
With that card, what you could have done is you could have thrown Janet in there. She died, played that.
Walroos saying that he could have attacked in with Janna and brought her back with the Guardian instead of the Irelia.
Everything's awake. Channel.
Captain Dad deciding to pass the turn. Walroos going up to 5 points for his awakening. So yeah, Walroos trying to offer a little advice to Captain Dad there. Recurve bow coming down for Walroos. When I attack or defend, it deals 2 damage to a unit at that area, or here is what it says, so at the battlefield if it's attacking. Moving Irelia, moving Fiora. Moving Fiora into the paper tree. We'll go ahead and let that go through. She'll win the combat, take out the herder. Goes up to 6 points. Walrus got a pretty firm control over the board right now. Playing Temptation. Move an enemy unit to a location where there's a unit with the same controller. So technically a second misplay here. Walrus, you can't target your own Fiora. That only goes on enemy units. So game would have been a little bit different here if Fiora stays on the battlefield, but still having fun. 1 misplay a person, 1 misplay per player. I think we're evening out there. Although we got a lot more might on the board, I'd say, with Captain Dad here, having twice as many units.
5 or 6? You're at 6.
Discussing score here. Yep, 6-3. Looks like we got it right on the display as well, keeping track in real life. Doing a much better job of that. Hopefully we don't ever make the mistake of missing points again. Looks like we're gonna possibly use 3 runes here. Nope, Captain Dad deciding to go into attack phase first. Taking the Guardian of the Passage. Thinking very critically about what he wants to do here. First time you play a deck, it's always gonna take you a few moments to make some decisions. Looks like we might be picking up that Treasure Hunter. Yeah, Treasure Hunter moving into the paper tree. That will allow Captain Dad to score 4 points, creating a gold token on his base. Using anything you can find at these events sometimes as tokens. Thankfully, we had plenty of runes at the store today. I know some of the events were not as fortunate. Taking the Guardian of the Passage into Battlefield A. Passes priority to Walroos. Allowing it, deciding not to use any punch firsts or anything spells. Not wanting any action today, it looks like, from that one. Captain Dad goes up to 5 with that point. Looks like we're going to pay 7. Yeah, 7. Here we go. For 7 and 2 power, Beast Below. When you play me, return another friendly unit and an enemy unit to their hands, their owner's hands. Playing it directly down to the battlefield on the paper tree. Captain Dad choosing Janna to move back to his hand and moving back Fiora to Walroos' hand. Captain Dad moving Jax up into the battlefield A. Ezreal up into the paper tree, fully deciding to conquer and commit here. With only a Lucian on the board, it doesn't feel terrible. We've got the 3 runes available for Captain Dad, so we know that he can replay the Janna if Walrus decides to overcommit on the Lucian. So I like this play so far. Feels pretty good. Walrus opening up his turn here. Again, staring at those 2 punch first. Looks like we got a veteran Poro in the back of his hand there as well. Considering the fact that Captain Dad's at 5, even if he lets him have both battlefields here, or can't conquer a battlefield, he should have a good, decent turn to develop if he's got a couple more units back in his hand. I know we've got the Fiora, the veteran Poro, so we've got a little bit of might that can come down. A couple of punch firsts with those on the next turn after could be more impactful. Deciding to attach the recurve bow to the Lucian. Lucian might up to 4 currently, but when he attacks in, he'll do 2 damage to a unit there at the battlefield. And yeah, let's see how he decides to sequence the rest of this turn here. Looks like we're going to start this off here, paying 3, paying 1 body rune for power. Fiora back down on the base. Paying 2 more for the veteran Poro. Veteran Poro coming down with Weapon Master. Deciding not to use any of that ability there. And yeah, there's the other unit that I couldn't tell what it was. Gem Jammer 2. When you play me, give a unit ganking this turn. A nice little unit if you can get some control on the board. Switch it over, especially if they're not expecting it. As is right now, looks like Walrus just needs as much board presence as he can get, playing all of his units. Captain Dad taking 2 points at the beginning of this turn, taking the lead for the first time in the game, up to 7 points. Things are getting real tight now. Now, right there, the hold with the Battlefield A on the Guardian of the Passage would have triggered his return a unit ability. So technically, Captain Dad, if he wanted to target the Irelia now, could have replayed his Irelia back to his hand. So that misplay kind of evens out a little bit. But we'll be sure that we remember that for the future, that is not a on-cast, on-play trigger. That is an on-hold trigger. We do have an extra channeled rune there for the paper tree trigger for playing a channeled rune. For 3 energy, we're going to play that Legion Quartermaster. When he comes into play, we're going to return a friendly gear to your hand. Unfortunately, that gold can't go to your hand, so that will just cease to exist. Looks like 3, 4, and a purple power. Going to come back down with purple Irelia, Irelia Graceful, when she comes down. Oh, no, not a trigger, excuse me. Your spells cost 1 less, or 1 power less to target her. A little bit more reinforcement down on the paper tree. So yeah, 4 there on that. It's going to be pretty defensive. Should be able to hold most interactions that he needs to here. Saving that 3 energy, those 3 runes up for the Janna more than likely. Yeah, that looks pretty good there. Can Walrus double conquer on this turn? Well, we know he's got the 2 punch first, but what can he draw? What can he pull off? Does he have a line? This one is very close. Down to the wire for sure. That Janna, she is coming in clutch for this game. Walrus leading out with punch first on Fiora. That'll move her up to 8 might. Unfortunately, there's multiple units on the battlefield, so punch first again. Second time here, being played on Lucian. So deciding to split them. And yeah, she doesn't trigger her might unless she fights one-on-one, so she wouldn't actually be at 16. But regardless, Janna being played down pushes her back to the base. That's going to only leave him with, even with everything, I don't think he could take 1 base, let alone both. So, yep, GG, there it goes. Good game, Walrus. There we go, Game 1 Spiritforged in the books. Still try to grow the channel a little bit, so be sure to give a subscribe if you like the content. Got a couple more games coming up. We'll see you next time.